Hey, Elise, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being willing to sit down with me and kind of tell your story. I think that you've really just had like a pretty amazing story, a pretty cool transformation, and I'm really excited that you're willing to share that with everybody. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to do it. Um,
Awesome. Well,
it's
if
been,
you would,
yes.
yeah, absolutely. If you would, maybe let's start out by just kind of introducing yourself. Tell us, who you are, where you're from, what you do, anything that you want to tell us about you.
Sure. My name's Ilise, and I am in like 48 hours, I'll be 58 years old.
Oh, wow.
And
Happy birthday.
thank you. Um, I grew up in the Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia area, and I got married. I lived in New Jersey. I moved to New Jersey for a job, and I was set up on a blind date, and I got married, and I stayed in North Jersey for 20 years. And unfortunately, my husband died suddenly, and my life flipped upside down, and I moved to the beach um, for 5 years. And very long story, I fell in love again and moved to Denver. So my husband and I never had kids. My partner and I now, he has two kids, two teenagers. And it's a big life change, to say the least. But I've never lived out west. My job was remote in New Jersey, and they let me keep my job. So I do some operational things for a digital engagement company, and I love my job. I love the work. It's meaningful. And here I am.
Awesome. What a cool story. You've been through a lot.
That
So,
is the Cliff Notes. That is the nutshell.
right. Awesome. Okay. Well, then let's talk about kind of your journey here specifically. So you decided to jump into the Think Eat Win program, but let's rewind to before that. So tell me, like, what were you struggling with the most before you joined the program when it comes to weight loss and eating and those kinds of things?
Eating, food, eating, overeating, stress eating, emotional eating. I had struggled with my weight my whole life. And so, you know, looking back through the program, where did all that come from? And the programming you sort of develop without even realizing it. You know, I can still be a healthy person. I don't have to resign myself to be an overweight person my whole life. I could look at things differently with curiosity and with love and analyze what I'm thinking, because it's what I'm thinking that's causing how I feel. And without even knowing it, the things I was doing were so destructive and weren't helping me lose weight. They were just adding more stress to the situation and more chaos. And it was just always a sore spot, always self-criticism, looking in the mirror, not being happy with the way that I look and how much I weigh, and just sort of feeling out of control with it all and not able to wrap my arms around it or my brain around it.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm glad that you kind of mentioned this, where it feels too big and kind of feels like maybe this is just the way that I am. And maybe, it's gone on this long. Maybe I'm never going to be able to change it. How else was this showing up for you in your life? What else was it affecting?
I mean, it was just affecting, I wasn't prioritizing myself. Here I am in this new situation, trying to find my way and prioritize other people. And, I was just on the back burner. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't, I was just going along with all the things that a 14-year-old eats, and I can't eat that way. And just feeling really crappy and not taking control of it, not looking at why I was feeling so crappy.
Mm. And what was that really like to, kind of realize that you weren't prioritizing yourself? and trying to like transition into this new situation and not really sure how to do that. Like, what was that really like?
It felt really selfish. It felt, I wasn't sure I was doing the right thing, but ultimately, it's the old, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first, or you really can't be for other people what you want to be. So,
But that was really hard to actually pull off in daily life, right? Like,
mhm.
tell me what did it usually look like before you figured out how to do that by learning everything you've learned here?
I was just going with the flow. I was just trying to fit in and not make waves and make life easier for everyone.
So kind of
But
eating what the kids wanted, right?
mhm, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So what why did you kind of get to this point, or what happened to get you to the point where you were like, I've got to do something? And then you and I ended up talking, but like, what was going on at that point where you were like, this has to change?
All the reasons why I wasn't getting back into Pilates, which I loved, making that time for myself to go to class, um, all of those excuses, I just had to stop. And it was all sort of just great timing of making the leap, getting back into class. I was just starting to exercise that muscle of prioritizing myself and making time for myself. And then you came up in my feed on Instagram, a post, or maybe it was Facebook, but it just really resonated. You took something that I had thought about a certain way my whole life, and you took it and you spun it around and you said, what if you looked at it this way? And I was like, oh, it was about
Yeah.
growing
Do you
up.
remember what that was?
I do. It was about going to bed hungry as a child, how it was a punishment. And but just what if you went to bed hungry and you allowed your body to reset? And, what if you did that for yourself? I was like, oh my God. It's just really enlightening. Something you felt a certain way about your whole life. What if you changed it? What if you looked at it differently? What if it had a different purpose? What if the story you were told and the story you told yourself all along wasn't accurate? you know?
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. So kind of blew your brain up a little bit to think,
Yeah, very much.
if I changed the way I was thinking about things, maybe my results could be different. Maybe my experience could be a whole lot better,
Yeah.
right?
And I wanted to know what else you knew. I was like, okay, if she figured that out, what else? And, it's been so many things.
Yeah.
So,
So it's been like close to 6 months now since you jumped in and really dug in, and you've like really done a great job in the program. Like, you've left no stone unturned. You're like using all the resources. Tell me, like, what's changed for you as a result of going through this program? Can you tell us anything like specific?
I sure can. The biggest change, the biggest thing, and I still kind of am a little bit in awe about it, is how calm I am now about eating and food and losing the weight. And it's coming off slowly, it's coming off the right way. I have a confidence that I didn't have before. Like, I really am there. I am not turning back. I am moving towards the healthy person that I'm becoming. And the patience and the calm that I have now, I've never had about it. Like,
Mm.
you neutralize the scale for me, getting on the scale, and it's informing me. It's not this whole big panic and, oh my God, oh no, and oh, it's out the window. It's a day, it's one measurement. It's telling you how you're doing. It's I would say the calm. Calm is
Well,
really,
the confidence. Yeah, that's huge.
yeah.
So that sounds kind of like your relationship with yourself. Like, how do you feel like your relationship with yourself has changed throughout the last 5 or 6 months?
For sure. It's changed mostly the relationship with my brain. And it's allowed me to take a pause and identify those moments where, okay, that thought is probably not rational, first of all, and it's just not helpful. So, why can't we come up with a different thought?
Yeah, for sure.
We
Okay.
can.
What about your relationship with food? Let's talk about that for a minute. What do you feel like your relationship with food was like before you learned all of this?
Planning, and I'm not the most detailed planner, but having a protocol and having sort of a foundation to rely on, I know I'm making better choices, and I know if I go off track, I can get back on track, and it's not anything that isn't flexible.
Yeah.
So it
That was
works.
hard to do before, but now it's easier, right?
Yes, because what I was doing before, if I tried a certain diet or, calorie deficit, it was just too restrictive and it wasn't sustainable. And so that's when I would gain the weight back. As soon as I stopped doing it, I would gain the weight back, whatever program I was following. So your program just helped me make some very simple lifestyle changes that helped me gain control. So where it was very out of control before.
So do you feel like the path you're on and the things you've learned are going to create a more sustainable future for you?
Absolutely. The fact that it's been progressing and it's been sustainable for 6 months just about, I've never had that in my life. I've been up, down, all over the place, gain the weight, lose the weight, struggle with the weight, be unhappy with the weight, be upset about the weight, beat yourself up about the weight. And it's been such a peaceful 6 months about that aspect of my life and my health and me. And it's been really nice in the midst of so much chaos too.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that actually, because you live a pretty active life, like as far as you and your partner and your stepkids. Like you guys travel a lot, you have a lot of activities, they're very active teenagers. Tell me, like, what tools have helped you to kind of get through all this chaotic stuff without resorting to, kind of the patterns that you had in the past?
It's really been stopping to think about my thoughts because I've had a lot of emotions with trying to adapt and adjust with we're integrating our lives. And it's funny, I've applied the program to that as well. Like it's anything that I'm feeling, if I feel left out or if I feel deprioritized or if I feel like I'm not seen or not appreciated, when I stop and think about it, it's probably not true. So it's just like, the thoughts I was having about eating and being unhealthy and being overweight and having weight to lose. When you stop and think about it and you calm down, you can change what you're thinking and you can change how you feel.
Yeah.
So managing feelings, all the feelings.
All the feelings.
And it's
Yeah.
okay to be in your feelings and, you might be sad or you might feel down, but it's not permanent and it's going to change and you're going to allow it and feel it. That's been the biggest, like allow it. Feelings aren't bad. You allow them, you feel them, you move through them and just look at them with curiosity and think about, where did they come from? They came from a thought and maybe you can choose a different thought.
Yeah. I think that's actually one of the things that I've like admired the most about how you've really integrated this into your life and the ways that you've transformed. I feel like your ability now to feel your feelings without having to numb or escape them with food or whatever it might be, like you've just improved so much in that way. And so it's really cool to see you develop that skill that we work on so much in our coaching, right? To be able to, understand your feelings and then actually feel them and move through them in a way that is loving to you rather than sabotaging. And it's not solving any problems to go add another problem to it, right? And so that's been a huge thing that I've really seen transform for you. And I love hearing that, yeah, you're using that in so many different walks of your life. It's not just with food. Right?
Yeah, those tools and those echoes stay with me. Like, you don't have to make it harder on yourself when you're already having a hard time. You don't have to hurt yourself more when you're already hurting. Allow the hurt and
you move through it.
You move through it. Yeah, it's still tough. It's still really challenging. Right. I haven't mastered anything, but
but your confidence is so much higher because you've been willing to step into that. And you really have done such an amazing job with that. So I'm curious, like, since you've done such an awesome job of using like all the different resources of the program, like you come to our group calls, you never miss a one-on-one with me. You're doing the video trainings. You're really putting your thought into all of the reflection worksheets and assignments. Yeah. You've even tapped into like all the, like the bonus train. Like there's actually too much there for anybody to actually finish in 6 months, but you've done such a great job. So like, what were your favorite elements of the program that helped you the most?
Oh my gosh. So many of the worksheets. I think I really loved looking at things from the perspective of my future self. That took me the longest to get through that section because I really wanted to give it the time that it deserved. But, your present self talking to your future self talking to your present self, that was powerful. That was probably my favorite. But there's been so much great content. It's all been really meaningful.
Good. I love it. That's so good.
Betsy, I have to tell you, it's really starting to, I'm noticing confidence-wise, like I moved out here, like I don't have any friends out here, like, close friends, my people. And, it's given me confidence to be optimistic about meeting people and turning some of these acquaintances into friends and just getting out and putting myself out there and blending in with this family and finding my way. And it's different when you're older. It's you're not this new young couple starting out. Everybody's families are already established, and blending them together can be a challenge.
Yeah.
So, but it's really given me confidence. I feel more like myself. And I also I feel like a new self, but I also feel more at home with myself.
Yeah. Well, you're being a better friend to yourself. And
that was my other favorite section.
Yeah.
Because I always tell friends that, if they're being hard on themselves, I'm like, you would never say that to me. Why are you saying that to yourself? But I wasn't practicing what I preached, and being my own best friend, being there for myself.
It's a really hard place that a lot of us get stuck.
Yeah.
And we hardly even realize that we have another way and that there is another option. So yeah, that's awesome. I love that so much. And really, like, coming into this tribe and having a place where, you belong and you're with other women who understand it. And like you and I are meeting regularly, and like, my past and my history, it's a lot like yours in some ways, right? Like we're both blending families right now and kind of embarking on that new adventure with a new partner and a new family. It can be a lot. It's a lot of there's a lot of challenges, but having somebody by your side who you can talk to about it, who gets it, and who can spot like the places where you're getting tripped up and kind of show those to you. And then all of a sudden, like the light bulb goes on and the clouds clear and you're able to move forward in a completely different way. Like, yeah, it makes a difference.
And all the women in the group, when they share, that's where you just feel at home. You just feel like they get it. They get me. I get them, and I think that's giving me the confidence too. That way, like if I'm meeting these people in this virtual community, I could surely meet those people in real life.
Yeah.
You can find them.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You made that choice to jump into the program. It seemed to come along at just the perfect time for you. You've transformed so much. So would you say that it was worth it to make that investment? Because, it wasn't an easy yes, right? Like it requires a commitment, right? So was that investment in yourself worth it?
It absolutely was. It was a leap of faith. It was, when is going to be the right time? Never. You're always going to have an excuse. I don't have the time right now. I can't really devote my attention to it, but that's how life is. And so, I started 2 months before the holidays, like it just was insane, but it wasn't. It was really grounding and it really was the right time. The right time is when you're ready, like when you are ready to commit to yourself. That's the right time. And all the other excuses don't matter.
Right. There will always be something. I'm glad that you
There will always be something.
Decided, like, this is my time. And now it's paying off. I love that.
And that's what it really encouraged you to do, was make that time for yourself. And it took a while. I'm glad it was 6 months because it took time.
Yeah. What's it like now, with your partner and with your stepkids? Like you were so worried about like standing out or stepping on toes or being the weird one. Like, how is that now? Is it just as weird as you feared, or is it not?
It really wasn't. It was, they were interested to hear what I was working on and what I was doing, and they want to support me. But it turned out like I could do my own thing. I don't have to eat everything they're eating. I can make my choices. They don't even care. I thought it would be such a big deal that I was rocking the boat, but it's, my partner wants to support me, and, we're kind of doing it together. So.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. Well, what would you say to somebody who's kind of been watching this and maybe hearing your story and resonating a little bit, or who's maybe been listening to my content and they're like, I don't know, maybe this could work for me? What would you say to somebody who is kind of like back and forth, maybe on the fence about it?
I would say if you want to change your story, this is for you. This is a deep dive on your story and how you've looked at things in the past and how that has served you or not served you, and a look into your future and not feeling like you're at the mercy of emotional eating and all the things. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, totally.
I would say if you're ready and you want to change your story, you won't regret this decision.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. So would you be where you are right now if you hadn't enrolled in this program 6 months ago?
No, absolutely not. I would still really be struggling and just beating myself up and, maybe being successful for a few weeks and then falling off, and I'd be doing the yo-yo thing. I'd still be there.
Yeah.
So there's just a steady progression and a steady loss.
Yeah. So you went from yo-yo to calm confidence and progress.
Yeah.
And just loving and appreciating yourself and your life so much more. So yeah.
So much more. I would not be in the same place.
Well, I'm glad you jumped in. And so I think that's a great message for other people too. We're waiting for the right moment. There isn't going to be one. There's always going to be challenges, but having somebody to help you through those challenges is going to make a huge difference than just trying to do it yourself alone, but with the same old mentality that you've always used.
100%. I would still be stuck.
Yeah. And 6 months goes by fast, right? Blink your eyes and 6 months goes by. You might as well be farther ahead than where you are today, right?
Yeah, it did go so fast. So
yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ilise, well, thanks so much for sitting down and sharing your story. Is there any last words you want to say before we wrap up today?
I just want to say thank you. You're amazing. You're so patient and so kind and brilliant. You've cracked a lot of codes. You've really solved a lot of puzzles. I don't know what other cliche I can throw in there, but
well, thank you for saying that. This is just my passion to share the lessons that I've been able to bring into my own life with
evident.
Thank you.
You make it a very safe place to do. And
yeah, absolutely. Because I understand it. I understand the pain. I understand the difficulty. And I also know like how much it helps to just have somebody to help you along the way. None of us get, personal growth and transformation completely on our own. We need help to get there. So I'm so glad and honored to have been able to work with you over the past 5 to 6 months, and just can't wait to see where you continue to go with your journey. So
thank you so much. Your guidance has been so valuable, and the program is just so well designed, and every week it was like another layer.
Yep, peeling back the onion, right?
Great. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, thanks for being such a great example to everyone of what's possible.
Thank you.
And we will talk soon. Thanks, Ilise.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye for now.
Bye.